Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. A few क्या एक दिन है अभी नहीं a few a few hours left for the Ashes to begin at Birmingham. Edgbaston, very well known in Indian cricket history for Virat Kohli's 149. But we're moving away from India and now it's England versus Australia that we're eagerly excited to see. Press conferences हुए. Ben Stokes always confident, not giving anything away. And yeah, he's ripping to go. He was mind over matter as baseball as his comments is what was the thing, and I think it's going insane, man. He's gonna go crazy, and it's just too much fun. So what are your thoughts tomorrow? क्या होने वाला है? How excited are you? I know it's a good change from the India IPL and India, and now it's proper English conditions. Probably overcast रहा तो it might favor the bowlers, but as of now the bright and sunny दिख रहा.
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely pumped. Like you said, the stage is set. Two top teams going at it. They're at top of the game. I think that's the difference in this series. That's why I'm more excited. It's not just England, Australia, Ashes. It's actually, if you look at player for player, pound for pound, it's going to be a very competitive series. Paper में मेरे को अभी तक समझ में नहीं आ रहा. There is a bit of weaknesses, a bit of strengths in each team, but I still don't know exactly who's going to win this test match and this test series. That's why it makes it even more interesting, right? It makes it more fun. Yes, England have playing a different type of cricket altogether, and everybody has said their main test will be against Australia because Australia's bowling lineup, their batting lineup as well. If you see, like South Africa had a very good bowling lineup when they came to England and they beat England in one test match. The difference here will be that Australia's batting is even better than South Africa's, and it's a high quality batting lineup, and that's why it's going to be a test for England, not only for their batters. We're talking about baseball and batting, but even the bowlers. That's a big test, right? To get out Smith, Labuschagne, and these guys. So I'm very pumped up. I think it's going to be really good. Australia have shown they're a very good traveling side as well, and that's why it makes a more even contest. But yes, Ben Stokes, his press conference, he did mention, I think, about Stuart Broad. Playing maybe because of Warner, some mind games there. But apart from that, he looks calm, relaxed, and he's going to do what he wants to do. I don't think he'll care about what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. Everybody's going to be watching this. Like we mentioned yesterday, this is the main sport right now in England. There's no football going on, so all eyes will be on the Ashes. There will be criticism, but I don't think he cares. He's going to play one way, man, and that's going to be aggressive cricket.
Yeah, they're saying there are possibilities of rain होने के हैं, maybe on Sunday or
On
something.
Sunday, yeah, possible.
Yeah, but that's still like far fetched. वो तो अभी सोचेंगे ना. I'm pretty sure कल Friday, bright and sunny day. And I think yeah, it's just the rivalry, the videos that I've been watching, the battles that we've been discussing, and like I said, key battles. जैसा बात करें, Steve Smith, Joe Root, Cummins and Ben Stokes going at each other as captains. So yeah, it really is a flavorful battle. But for Australia, I mean, they're if you're looking at it form wise, England is actually in much better test form than Australia at this point. They've come up, I think, out of the last five, they won four, and Australia has drawn a few. But do you think England would be able to, पहले तो जो 4-0 था in Australia, I know there were different conditions, but do you think England have a strong plan against Australia, who right now are probably brimming with confidence, right? WTC जीत गया.
I don't think they have a specific plan. Now, the way England is playing, for them, it's about apna style khelna and attack. I think Australia will have plans for England. Of course, there will be strategies and all that. But the way England are playing, I think it's about putting pressure on the opposition, no matter who the opposition is. Whether that's Nathan Lyon or Ashwin, they're going to attack him, right? That's exactly how it's going to play. For me, the main thing is that will they be able to sustain this over a period of 5 matches? And such a tight schedule, because अगर आप देखें जो previous matches थे, they had a one-off game against India, they had a 2-test match series against New Zealand, or 3-test match series against New Zealand, then a 2-1 in New Zealand. Against Pakistan was a 3-test match series. This is the first time it's going to be 5, and it's against tough opposition. The bowlers also will come into question their fitness, because they're coming off injuries as well, whether that's Robinson, Wood, Anderson. Apart from Broad, I think everybody's had issues in the recent past, so they will be tested over there. Then batting wise as well, will they be able to keep up with that run rate every single game? Will there be times that they have to thoda sa, settle down a bit, because it's going to be a period of 5 matches? That's the thing. If this was a one-off test match, I'm telling you England favorite 70-30, but because it's 5, and the way Australia play cricket, Australia is a bit more traditional, and the bowling attack that they possess, they're the best spinner in the world. I think it's going to be very, very, very close.
Yeah, I mean 100%. मेरे को भी वही लग रहा है, like England के लिए थोड़ा tough challenge रहेगा. I don't know how they'll sort of do the whole baseball thing. I know they'll go after it and stuff, but if it starts playing tricky and like you said, five tests, thoda maybe like I feel they'll be strategic about their baseball approach. And if they see a bulk of wickets falling, because in India we saw it like the first four wickets for India, they fell very quickly, right? But I know that was the oval. This is Edgbaston, two different grounds, but more or less the conditions are similar. Like it's still like sunny, bouncy wicket, good favoring the batsman. All things what we read for the oval, we're reading for Edgbaston, but agar England lose the first four wickets quickly and like in like a collapse kind of a way, then I don't know how they're going to approach it. And like I said, they're five tests back to back. They've been playing two 2K series quite a lot. वो है
Mm.
कि sustainability and what they're going to be able to do. But for Australia again, they need Warner to perform. Maybe it's the last time, or else they will have to replace him as well. So Australia have equal problems as well. I know they had a break, 3 month break, but again, it's like their players can also wear and tear. So
और
they
अगर आप देखो वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया का जो इंडिया के अगेंस्ट भी फॉर एग्जांपल जब शार्दुल ठाकुर उन्हें रहाणे का जो पार्टनरशिप था जब काउंटर अटैक कर रहे थे दे हैव दैट एबिलिटी टू लीक रन्स लाइक वी नो मिचेल स्टार्क ही डज लीक रन्स if you go after what really intrigued me over there that game Rohit Sharma the way he played Boland in that second
yeah,
innings right
yeah,
उन्हें थोड़ा
he's
he was shuffling and trying to hit him off his line and length and Boland always sticks to one particular line length and that's how he got Kohli out because Kohli was playing defensive and he
yeah,
was playing much more like proper cricket whereas Rohit Sharma was doing something a bit unorthodox and
forcing him to change. Yeah, I think
and that's how England are going to try to hit them off their length. I think one player difficult to do that is Pat Cummins, but again they won't be scared. Like and Nathan Lyon is another guy. Like for me, I think he's the best spinner in the world. But we saw in Australia against India when Rishabh Pant went after him, he
yeah.
got under pressure and he started messing up a bit. When Ben Stokes got after him in 2019 in Leeds in Headingley, he also got under pressure over there. So there are ways that if you do play aggressive cricket and if it's a good true pitch that what you're saying like pehle 2-3 din acha flat batting wicket agar hai then there is scope for this baseball and there is scope that like England can put Australia under pressure.
Yeah, I mean completely agree with you. The point where you have to probably counteract attack their bowlers to a point. जहाँ पे मतलब they're forced to change their line. What else they're like more or less going to bowl in that length area. But again, if it works, will England change their tactic of baseball? What interesting.
He won't change it. मैं
Will they
तुम्हारे
fall?
लिख के ले रहा हूँ he won't change it. उन लोग अगर 20 for 8 है the guy coming at number 10 will come swinging. He's not going to change it. I don't think he'll because from the way he is as a captain. If it was anybody else, I thought they will change it up. Whether it's a a Rohit Sharma or a Pat Cummins, they'll change it up. But Ben Stokes, they're gonna play one way because it's also gotten them to this point. हम लोग इतना hype क्यों कर रहे हैं इंग्लैंड को ये Ashes series को क्यों hype कर रहे हैं because they won like 12 games out of 14 or 10 out of 12 whatever it is they won 80-90% of their games home and away. Pakistan में जाके मानना like it's not easy for Sena teams to win in the subcontinent, right? Yeah. They've done that convincingly. In New Zealand, they won a test match. So I think the way they've played their cricket, this is what's got them success, and this is what everyone is talking about. So I don't think they'll change. Yes, there will be times they'll collapse. और हम लोग आके यही पॉडकास्ट पे आके बोलेंगे भाई ऐसा कैसा खेल सकते टेस्ट क्रिकेट है थोड़ा टाइम लो but and another thing Faz, I wanted to ask you how many of these games if there is no rain will go 5 days?
That's interesting because again collapse के ऊपर तो होगा definitely कि कौन ज्यादा collapse है but England अगर 500-600 first मार के they're able to counter attack with their bowling abilities. I don't know, it's actually a very good question because in maybe 3.5-4 days max I don't see a 5-day test probably in a situation where the pitch is really tricky or something. Yeah. You could say, but I don't know. The way these two teams are at this point of time, even Australia, I mean, they're well set. If they get a good first innings to bat, then they're very lethal with the ball, and we've seen them clear up India in like 1.5 days. So it's going to be interesting to see whether any test match stays for 5 days. But yeah, I think from English perspective, just the spinner option. What do you think about that? Like we've discussed it yesterday as well. Like I still feel like Moin Ali, like mentioned after that, more I thought about it, it's not going to be very easy for him also to get anything out of this. Yeah, he'll be an additional batsman, but again, it's the wicket to wicket ability that he has. But will that be very effective in conditions which are more straightforward and not that spinner friendly?
I think the way they're going to use him is like maybe try to spread the field and try to get catches on the boundaries, wicket taking. Like
Yeah.
he already said, "भाई उसको पूछे press conference में उन्हें बोला कि yeah, I'm not somebody who can contain the opposition. I can't. They'll go after me." He's खुद
Hmm.
उन्हें admit कर रहा है they're going to go after him, so they are going to go after him. So maybe the way Ben Stokes sets the fields for him will help Moin Ali in that way. But yes, he's not an out and out spinner, right? He's not
Yeah.
like a primary. He's an all rounder. Like he bowls a bit, he bats a bit. So I think one thing that gives him a bit of advantage is that there's a lot of left handers in the Australian batting
Agree.
lineup.
Agree.
So like that the angle can favor him. But I think most importantly is the way Ben Stokes uses him at which periods and what fields he sets for him. But that is going to be a bit of a weakness for England, 100%. But let's see, Moin Ali, like in the past, has had some good spells in England. He's had some very bad spells. It could be hit and miss, but I'm sure that he's going to be used as a wicket-taking option. And then, like you said, they have Joe Root as well. Again, not convincing at all. I don't think he's going to bowl that much, but they do have a few options. But if you that's where Australia have the edge, man. They have Nathan Lyon over there. That guy's a world-class spinner. Like I even watched him live. He's too good, bro. And and if you look at it, maybe Nathan Lyon gets hit first in the first 2-3 test matches, but
Hmm.
as the टेस्ट मैचेस प्रोग्रेस आप चौथे या पांचवें टेस्ट को जब जाएंगे जब नितिन लैन का रोल बहुत बढ़ने वाला है एंड ही माइट
Yeah.
बी योर मैच विनर इन द लास्ट 2-3 गेम्स
And the last 2 days, I think 4 and 5 usually अगर
4 and 5 या
वहाँ पे भी
उन्हें
पहुंच
लास्ट टाइम
जाता है.
एजबेस्टन में 6 विकेट लिया था आई थिंक
लास्ट मैच में ही उसके उन्हें 2-3 विकेट ले लिया था. आई
yeah
नो
I
एजबेस्टन तक
think
जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
no, but against England only in the
Yeah,
Ashes,
yeah.
I remember he
Ashes.
picked up like 4
Yeah.
or 5 wickets in the second innings or something like that. So वही है Nathan Lyon. I think look, they will go after him and everything, but I think he's going to be a key player. And that's another thing I would ask you. Australia's team has not been announced yet. England का तो मालूम है हमारे को, and I think they're deciding on Hazelwood को खिलाना और खिलाए तो किसकी जगह में, right? So with Boland right now, it looks very difficult to drop him. He was the player of like the bowler of the match in the WTC.
100%.
अभी Stark और Hazelwood का शायद हो सकता है, and these are two world-class bowlers. Now the thing is, Hazelwood will probably get you more accuracy. He'll also get you. He can get you wickets too. He can contain one end. But Stark, not only is his wicket-taking ability, one thing if you notice, Lyon's record is better when Stark plays because he creates that rough because of his left hand ka jo over the wicket jo bhi hai, he creates that rough. So if you see Lyon's stats, they're a bit better when Stark plays. So do you think that will be considered, or would you just go with Hazelwood and say, listen, let's just keep it very accurate, keep it tight, and force them to take wickets? Because also with Stark, I just wanted to add is they're going to hit him, but that will also help him also get wickets. And if that's the big wicket of Root, then that might be the game changer.
Now there's two ways. I mean, I would personally go with Mitchell Stark because I wouldn't want to change a winning combination immediately after a WTC. Probably let them go with this confidence that they have, and then. Or you can do an experimental thing where you take out Mitchell Stark and see Hazelwood को लाए बाद से क्या फर्क पड़ता है टीम में. I think that's one way that you could probably go with. But if you ask me personally, I would say just keep this combination as it is. And like you said, Nathan Lyon is going to get purchased now. One more thing you really want to understand: if Hazelwood plays, what's the differential factor? Will Nathan Lyon perform at that thing? Will they bowl more around the wicket? Something I don't know. Like they'll have to try different things, like go around the wicket after try to create mark or something on the other end.
I don't think that factor will be way like considered too much.
Effective,
मगर है थोड़ा बहुत है.
And with
right?
Mitchell Stark batting भी उन्हें आके 60 odd मार ले सकता है रहने में. Like you know
point.
what he's done with against India also. He's done a fair good batting where he had a good partnership with Alex Carey. तो वो चीज़ें काफी Mitchell Stark के उसमें रहते हैं. And I think वो winning combination जैसा मैं बोलता हूँ, like I just feel नहीं change करना चाहिए. One thing I want to ask him, Marnus Lamachin, Zabardast player, first in the world and stuff like that. Coming to Australia, he's been fantastic. But out of Australia, he looked a little hesitant. Like we saw him in India. Okay, India was another ball game. But like even against this WTC game where he's playing, I think for Glamorgan, county में hundreds मारा. But फिर again WTC में थोड़ा he looked shaky to me personally. What are your thoughts like?
I mean, he did decently well, I think, both games.
He soaked in a lot of pressure, took in a lot of deliveries, but again, the runs weren't like as much as you would expect, from him.
Yeah, the thing is, Labuschagne sometimes, like, he depends on a lot of luck. Unhe hawa mein khel leta shot and everything. If you drop him, unhe 100 mar deta. But I think in terms of, battling-wise, I remember his debut was in England only, when the concussion happened to Steve Smith, I think he walked in and he scored a 50 in those conditions against Archer and these guys. So it shows to me that he has the strength, he has the ability, he has the technique as well to survive in these conditions. It's just that, of course, at times there will be situations where he gives a chance. You have to grab that chance, and then that could cause a problem for Labuschagne. But overall, I think he's a really good batsman. If you ask me,
No, yeah, he's a
uh,
kind of batsman that he could be like a Dravid for Australia, soaking in all the deliveries, making his runs about himself. But I don't know, like just as I've been following him for whatever 6 7 months, मेरे को लगता है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में तो फोड़ दे रहा था. He was staying there the whole day
मगर
और
लकी
पेनिनसुला
बैट्समैन
में.
है उन्हें. I agree with you in
Yeah.
a
So
certain way
for
that
me,
he's
it's like he's like on his day he could be the most destructive. And, like he doesn't look like that player that will get you like a big winning thing. I mean, he's definitely technique wise immense, जबरदस्त है. But I don't know, England में WTC भी जब देखा मैं समझा अरे Labuschagne will do something. Like he did like to his ability. Like he took in a lot of deliveries, but you needed runs as an Australian point of view maybe. I don't
But
know.
the thing, the job that he does at one down, right? उन्हें जब आता है, अब देखो दोनों innings देख लो इंडिया के अगेंस्ट. उन्हें पहले ओवर तो आउट नहीं हुआ, उन्हें 20 ओवर तो खेला, right? Like I mean 10
Yeah.
ओवर तो खेला आराम से. He scored 40 odd in like both innings, or like something around that lines. He scored runs, right, in both
Yeah.
both innings.
Yeah.
So what does that do? That lays the platform for the other batsmen. What's his role in the team? His role is not in the team. It's not Steve Smith's role. I think Steve Smith is the one who needs to score those match-winning hundreds and score those big runs. And then you have Travis Head also counter-attacking. I think what his role is, he's doing that well. If he can score a 50, see off the new ball, and lay the platform for Travis Head to come and hit, or Alex Carey to come and hit, then he's doing his job. So that's the thing. Like I know one down batsman, matlab you're looking at Rahul Dravid, you're looking at Callis, Lara, these guys,
Yeah.
वैसा level का. But maybe that's not his role. His role, maybe that's Steve Smith's role. His role is just to try to get off to a start, and then of course capitalize. I think he has the ability. I'll be very honest with you. Yeah, there are times that he'll get out. He might not have the best of series, but I still think he's a really good batter. And England, if it's a flat pitch, then उन्हें चिपक जाता है वहाँ पे Labuschagne.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also a thing, right? Like if it's swinging conditions first, then yes, he is susceptible. Anyone is susceptible in those conditions. But if it's a flat pitch and then everything, I would bank on Labuschagne to at least get me to a 50, and then from there he can always convert it.
Yeah. I just like based on what I've been seeing, in West Indies against Zabardast, he was like 500 runs in 3 games, and then against South Africa, he was decent. Then it just didn't look like the best in India. Obviously, India was a next level kind of a thing. But yeah, Glamorgan ke liye to he's been doing decently. He got a couple of centuries and stuff. It's just like, he looked very shaky to me in this WTC. So I was just like,
Really, for me, he looked comfortable, man. I'm honest with you. Like, I mean, I had a different view than you. You probably saw it closer, right? Like, मैं थोड़ा दूर से दिख रहा था.
But maybe just my head or against like an opposition mentality. But
no, because I mean, I know I was in the stadium, but like my distance was very far, right? But you probably seeing replays and maybe his shot selection for you. But from me, he was leaving the ball well. He was blocking the ball well. It was hard to get him out, and he had some scoring shots as well.
Shami got him out with a beautiful ball.
That was a really good delivery, right? That was a really good delivery, and it you wouldn't say it's a false stroke or anything like that. It was a very good delivery. So, from what I saw,
on the fourth day when they were batting, he looked comfortable, he looked settled, but then he just lost his wicket. Like it just went away. So it's like you said, it's just you take him and he's gone. It's like that. Like, you give him chances, obviously anyone will capitalize, but with him, it's like he does give you that opportunity either in the first 20 to 25 minutes in his innings, or like he'll just sit there for the rest of his life kind of situation. But,
one guy that you sorry, no, one guy that you have I mean, I've watched him in the last 2-3 years. You saw him this year, I'm sure, is Ollie Pope. Going under the radar a bit, everyone's talking about Labuschagne Smith, but Pope and Root could be a very good partnership. Pope is again counter-attacking player. He has a good defensive technique as well when required. He scores runs under pressure. He's done really well because one down has been a problem for England in the past, especially when Joe Root has moved to number 4. So the Ollie Pope, what do you make of him, and do you think he can have a better series than Labuschagne in this Ashes?
Yeah, he's been decent. Like he was, I'm watching him since when, like Pakistan, I think. I think Pakistan, he was there, and he was very good in Pakistan. He got 100 as well, if I'm not wrong. Then we moved to New Zealand, where he was crucial with those 42, 49. So he stuck there, took in the pressure. So I think, I don't know how old is he. Like he's probably like 24, 25, I think, or maybe older to that. I don't know. We got the ages wrong on this show quite a few times.
He's 25.
Yeah, he's 25, so he has a little bit of time to himself, and like I think, yeah, being home conditions, he'll be knowing how to play in these. He's been playing with Surrey also, right? उधर भी काफी अच्छा ही रोल मेंटेन कर ले रहा. तो yeah, a lot of scope for him. But I don't know, when you compare him to Labuschagne, maybe no, because Labuschagne has like world number one and stuff, and rubbing with, he definitely rubs shoulders, but I don't know how effective he will be against him. But for England, yeah, he's become very important. Like you can see, like he's getting centuries. Jack Rawley's not been the best, like for England. उन्हें निकल जाता जल्दी विकेट चले आती उसकी, and then बीच में उन्हें पोप आके he become the stabilizer kind of thing till Joe Root comes in. So he's been decent. I mean, he won't be that great that thing, but I think he's not been a bad number three as of now.
या नो आई एग्री विद दैट आई थिंक उसका यही है कि उन्हें स्कोरिंग शॉट्स भी देखते रहता काउंटर अटैक भी खेल सकता एंड व्हेन ही डज मेनी ऑफ द टाइम्स जैक रॉली जल्दी आउट हो जाता तो ही कम्स इन ही इज लिटरली बिकम एन ओपनर एंड लाइक ही सीज ऑफ दैट न्यू बॉल प्रीटी वेल एज वेल सो आई एम एक्साइटेड टू सी ऑली पोप एज वेल आई थिंक ही कैन प्ले अ क्रूशियल रोल take the pressure off Joe Root and the rest of the batters. If Ollie Pope can get off to a good start, set a foundation for England, then it allows the other batters to come and play more freely. So I'm really looking forward to the way he bats.
Now, what about one guy that I know you love a lot, and he was a Sunriser, and he was a king, and he was there, but then he got injured. Uh, Johnny Bairstow.
Oh,
How?
I thought you were talking
Do you,
about Harry Brook,
not
but
Harry
yes.
Brook. He was the Sunriser. So
Uh,
yeah, Johnny Bairstow after injury looks like he put on a little weight, but yeah, I mean he probably shed it and stuff. But what do you make of him? I know he's fantastic
he's a
counter-attacking
beast,
ability.
bro.
He's an amazing wicketkeeper, but just that gap from cricket, how do you think he's gonna fulfill it?
I think that's a very good point, man. I really don't know because he's keeping wickets also. If he's just coming as a batsman, I would have a bit more confidence in his comeback and everything. Bro, he broke a leg and now he's coming in.
Yeah,
He's going to keep 90 overs a game. Then he has to come and bat. Yes, he's going to bat a bit lower down. He's going to bat at 7. Normally he bats at 5 in my from what in my recollection. I think he normally bats
yeah,
at
yeah.
5, but he's going to be batting 7 over here. My concern is that he is coming from injury and he's going to be keeping. That is my concern. Keeping wise, yeah, he's a decent keeper. I personally think Folks is better, but he can do the job. But the fact that he is coming back from such a huge injury without playing cricket, yes, he's played a few county games for Yorkshire, but apart from that, I'm not confident in both those abilities. Will that affect his batting? Batting wise, also मेरे को कोई confirmation नहीं है कि उन्हें कैसा खेल रहा कैसा नहीं खेल रहा. He was England's best player in 2022. Even
Yeah.
during Joe Root's last series as captain in the West Indies, he was the only guy who scoring hundreds. Even in the Ashes, he's the only guy who scored 100, I think, or one of the few guys who scored 100. And then after that, when Ben Stokes took over, he just went on another level, bro. He was the best batter in English cricket last year. But will he be able to be the same guy right now? I don't know. Like I don't have the answer, and it's going to be difficult. If he is, then sensational, bro, because
Yeah,
he
but
is someone.
one interesting news said was because his wicket keeping is going to be risky, and we saw Dhoni
Yeah.
had a knee injury while he was keeping. I mean, he's 33, Bairstow, and Dhoni is a little bit older than
But the
that. But
difference is,
once your
Bledsoe
ACL
broke
does,
his yeah, he broke his leg,
ACL,
bro.
yeah.
That's the difference. Like I mean, Dhoni had injuries 100%, and he's older, but this guy like broke his leg and he's coming back and playing Ashes cricket. Like 90 overs, 90 over karna hai aapko. It's a different ball game to T20 game, right? Like it requires a different kind of mindset, different kind of endurance and everything. So I'm a bit concerned about Johnny Bairstow. I would have personally gone with folks and added Bairstow in my batting lineup,
Yeah,
but then you
that's
would have
the
to drop some good batsmen then. But
batsman.
like,
Yeah,
but yeah, like it's a risk that they've taken now. But they can always fall back to another keeper if required. But yeah, man. One thing I'll say, because basketball's so out of the box, they've got Moeen Ali back. They've got these different type Bairstow. They're making him keep. They're doing different out of the box decisions.
much,
One
yeah.
out of the box decision that I would have done, I would have gotten Butler instead of Zach Crawley. That's just what I would
Yeah,
have
that
done.
would have been a good option because it would have been both keeper and batsman as well, right? So I think that
Yeah.
would have really. But I don't know if they asked him and he didn't want to play, or he's injured. I think I don't know what it
Also,
is.
he's the one-day captain. World Cup is
Yeah.
coming. Maybe they're trying to
So
focus
I
on
think
that
focus
format,
on
and they
that
have
part.
plenty of options. But for it would have, I think he would have suited baseball very really well.
Yeah,
Josh
hundred
Butler.
percent. Based on how he is, like in a 2020 over format, I'm pretty sure like he would have been crazy. But we're talking about Bears too now. I want to move to Alex Carey because I really like this player. I mean, his
Hmm.
counter-attacking ability, man. Like South Africa, se agar अपन देख ले, like
Yes.
I've been seeing him properly from South Africa's tour, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but the count that the way he paces the innings immediately, Aro, like the 48 that he made, the 48 and the 42 in the final, that was the most important bulk of runs that came from Alex Carey's bat, right? So he really changed the whole dynamic of that Australian batting. I know Steve Smith first inning में 100 mara, and then but that 42, that partnership with Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, that really changed. Like their total went to one, like you said, 460 तक चले गया. So
Yeah.
वहीं पे इंडिया में मिल गए थे. So this guy is incredible. His like speed and hitting ability, clears the boundary. छिक्के भी मार लेता है उन्हें टेस्ट में. If he gets going, he can really get quite a few hundreds, I think.
मैं उसको आई थिंक पहले बार 2019 में देखा एंड देन आई सॉ हिम प्ले इन द 2019 वर्ल्ड कप. एट दैट टाइम आई सेड दैट he's probably Australia's best keeper batsman after Gilchrist, right? I
Hmm.
felt he was better than Haddon, Wade, all these guys. Okay, but then थोड़ा सा dip हुआ उसको, like he went through a dip, he went through but like what you mentioned about him, counter attacking ability, playing with the tail also, and then he has a good defense on him. It's not going to be all bang bang, but he does that, have that ability under pressure to score runs. Keeping wise also is pretty solid. I would
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that keeping wise उसकी अच्छी keeping है उसकी. तो मेरे हिसाब से overall अगर मैं देखा तो he's still like in the works. He still have a lot of improvement to do, but I think he is a big factor. A lot of teams have issues with keepers. India per se, right
yeah,
now England, they do have options, but like for example, if they go Folks, you would still prefer Carey's batting. Folks is a better keeper, but you would prefer
yeah,
Carey's batting. Now you're looking at Bairstow. Bairstow is a better batter, magar ulta hai, Carey is a better keeper than Bairstow. So Carey gives you both very good batting and very good keeping as well. And I think that could be a deciding factor in this series. Under pressure in situations where maybe they're 100 for 5, Carey comes in, scores a quick fire 50. That could be the difference in a game for Australia.
yeah.
I think
No
it's
doubt,
really good that you brought him up. I've really liked him over the last 3-4 years. Whatever I've seen of him, he hasn't
big
reached to the
moments.
levels
Yeah,
that I thought he would have reached by now,
yeah, yeah.
because I found him really talented when he started. Magar, yeah, he's probably one of the best out there. This is going to be a challenge for him, of course. He's playing in English conditions. Last time around, I think after the World Cup, he left and Tim Payne took the gloves.
Hmm.
So this will probably be his first series in England. It's going to be different. वहाँ पे keeping भी आपको मालूम है ball swing होता है after
Yeah,
passing the keeper. So it's going to
yeah.
be different, and it'll be difficult, challenging for him. But I'm looking forward to the way he plays.
Yeah, and also like you mentioned, like backing up the keepers, Josh English also like their backup keeper. उन्हें भी decent ही I've seen him
अच्छा
in the
है ना, हाँ.
BBL. Then he came to India as well for a BGT. He played one test. I mean, he's good with the gloves, very good with the wicket keeping ability. So they're very well sorted. I mean, but obviously Alex Carey will be playing and counter attacking ability like we've seen. From the bowlers now, coming to the main part of this whole Ashes thing. I know, yeah, we have Steve Smith, Joe Root, all the children, but bowlers are like the most like important thing in the series. You got Jimmy Anderson, you got Stuart Broad. वो combination के बारे में बात करेंगे. न्यूजीलैंड को तो रख के फोड़ दिए. Then Broad I think went to Ireland as well. We played against Ireland as well. I think we got a very good wicket. I think 7 wickets or something he took.
Hmm.
I forgot what his spell was, where it was incredible. So Stuart Broad, James Anderson, क्या expectation है तुम्हारे उन लोगों से?
I have a question for you. If you are, you're Jimmy Anderson, I'm Ben Stokes, right?
Yeah.
Both Jimmy and Broad are older to Ben Stokes, more experienced. And you've said as captain that, bro, we're gonna have flat wickets. Aren't you gonna come up to me and say, listen, just put some grass on the wicket, we'll handle their batting? That's thing, like flat wickets maybe might not be our best option. Or are you saying that, listen, captain, whatever you say, we're up to the challenge, we'll get them out anyway? What would you say? Because traditionally Anderson and Broad, they played what, like जब भी Ashes देखे तो उन लोगों की bowling दिखाते spells, right? Or the wickets are traditionally with grass. There's movement and
Yeah,
everything,
bounce.
which is
Yeah.
which might not be the case tomorrow. Don't you think that? Yeah, what would you say? Do you think they'll be as effective, and will they be confident bowling in these conditions?
Yeah, I think, see, like you mentioned, first thing you mentioned, experienced here. They played a lot of Ashes and a lot of Test cricket throughout their careers. They played in India, where you have traditionally flat pitches, and they've done exceptionally well both places, right? Like even
Yeah.
in India, you see Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson are always the lookout bowlers, and they have decent height, they have decent pace. They're still bowling 140s, 138. So I don't think now. If you're asking me if I'm Jimmy Anderson and I got that, I would try to understand my captain's plan, what it is. If you want to really show that side of basketball, like he wants people to know that this is why we're playing basketball, ke maar ke phod de sakte, or something, or what his thought process, maybe he think his batting is a bit more stronger than the bowling. I don't know what his plan is, but if I'm Jimmy Anderson, I'm Stuart Broad, and you're Stuart Broad, whatever, you would still be like, bro, just whatever pitch you're giving me, I'll get them out. That's a
Yeah.
bowler, that's a champion mentality, right? So वो champions mentality दोनों में है. और ना आप देख लो ना कहीं भी दुनिया में they've always shined, like let it be Africa, let it be India, anywhere. Sena mein to they're elite bowlers for sure.
Yeah, and look, Anderson is 40 years old. Age does catch up with you, but right now he's not showing any signs of that.
Yeah.
Um, I still feel that they'll have to be rotated. I don't think they can play all 5 games, particularly with the change-ups. But yes, I think tomorrow they'll be up for it. You already see on look social media pe dal diye Ashes Eve बोल के. It's like a Christmas kind of
Yeah.
occasion for them, man. They've called it. Yeah, they're all raring to go. And like you already mentioned, they do have that experience. They'll soak in the pressure. One thing that, for example, a younger bowler might face, like playing in England, pack crowd in a test match, they'll feel the pressure. These two exactly know how to handle the pressure. I don't think they have any problems with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, line and length is always impeccable. They'll have plans for all the Australian batsmen, and the way Ben Stokes sets his fields and stuff, it will be interesting for these two as well. But they'll be raring to go. And if you remember, in the last Ashes, they were dropped, right? Like for a couple of games, and there's a lot of questions asked. I
Yeah.
think at the
Yeah.
Gabba they were dropped, one of them or both of them. A lot of questions asked at that time. But when Ben Stokes, soon as he came in as captain, he said, "Bhai, I want both you in my team, especially Anderson. You're in my team." And yeah, they will be raring to go. It might be Anderson's last Ashes, and he'll want to go off with the bang tomorrow. Yeah, I think they'll be up for it. They'll be ready.
Yeah, 100% they'll be ready and waiting to go. And like you said, they at this age, if they're getting a challenge like a flat wicket in England, I'm pretty sure they'll take it just to make things more exciting. Harry Brooks, what are your thoughts? Harry Brook, my man, my legend. I think for cricket ke hisab se, I've seen him. He's been incredible. For whatever amount of innings that he's played, he's got a couple of hundreds on him. But yeah, your personal take on Harry Brook and Ashes 23, what do you expect from him?
Bro, I think he'll be England's highest scorer, and the main battle over here will be Travis Head versus Harry Brook. I think that will be the main battle, because it's the way they play the cricket, the run rate. It could change the whole momentum of the game, completely shift the game to the team's favor. Travis Head
Hmm.
also plays trap ball. He plays like aggressive
His,
cricket.
his average is 81 right now in Test cricket.
Yeah, yeah.
Small
And
sample, but like
who are we talking
seven.
about? Harry Brook?
Yeah,
Yeah,
seven
and
matches, obviously
yeah,
800 runs.
81, and वो भी in foreign conditions also, like in Pakistan उसको
Yeah,
कोई मालूम ही नहीं है पाकिस्तान
yeah.
का. Yeah, he played PSL, but like so someone like
Pakistan, New Zealand. Yeah,
yeah, so Harry Brook, I think, will be a key player to watch. Yes, he had a very poor IPL, but that will give him more reason to come back fighting. This is a different format. He's going to play in home conditions, pitches that he knows better. And if it is
yeah,
flatter wickets first, this guy, we know, man, he can
yeah.
absolutely batter it. उसको एक flat pitch दिए थे Eden Gardens में, उन्हें 100 मार दिया. तो I think he'll be up for it. Again, the challenge will be against Nathan Lyon. That battle will be very key, because Nathan Lyon is also a very, very good bowler, outstanding, the best spinner in the world right now. So he said if it's in my reach, I will hit it. And also he also said that the Australian bowlers are fast, but the ball will also travel quicker to the boundary. So his mindset, उन्हें तो attack करने वाला है. Yeah,
Unfazed. Yeah,
he doesn't give a crap. He's that type of player. And the reason why of course I'm biased to Sunrisers, but the reason why I'm picking him and Travis Head as the main battle to watch, because I feel that so many times I get blindsided by like Kohli versus Smith, or
under the radar. Yeah,
Root versus thing, or Williamson versus Babar, that we look at the other players जो चलाते, जो इतना limelight नहीं रहता, but पूरा game चला सकते. And these two have the ability to do that. Both Travis Head and Harry Brook, they have the ability to change the whole course of the game, the complexion of the game, because they score at that rate, and they have the ability to take the attack to the opposition, put the pressure back onto the opposition. Even if the score is for 80 for 4, they're going to play one way. उन लोग खेल दिए अगर 70-80 balls खेल लिए, they're scoring 100, bro. So that's why I feel that this battle is going to be the most key between these two players. And the fact that he has Ben Stokes and Bairstow behind him gives him more license to go for it, go hell for leather,
yeah.
and really go after the Australian bowling. अब देखो Cummins Stark को बैस बॉल खेलना, of course it's going to be a different ball game, but that's not going to stop him. So I'm looking forward to it. It could be a series where he gets out 0 every innings, but I just feel that with the pitches, with the conditions, with the fact that he has players around him, he'll have a good series.
Yeah, and I think it's been a decent break for him since the IPL, and I think he had enough time to get some good practice. And but yeah, I think key point to Tumbole, I think I just now that I'm thinking about it more, it's like Virat Kohli and these big names. We usually forget the small people who actually make the test. It's not like these guys always score. It's not like always like we see Akshar Patel and these guys in like he has this ability, like so it's like these kind of guys. But yeah, overall I think like pound for pound masla hai ye, it's going to be a very very good test match to watch. Vinesh Vaisal, hello, most of wickets. Ollie Robinson and most runs might be head or root. Those are actually very good picks. And Ollie Robinson, like we forgot about him. I mean, I didn't forget about him. I can still play that ball and that Bob he bowled to Babar on a flat wicket, and and there was two times, not just once. It was twice that he got a wicket like that, and a sensational bowler. I think, like you said, like we just forgot about him and Stewart and Jimmy's presence, but Ollie Robinson, their bowler, third bowler Scott Boland, तो भाई वहाँ पे भी एक जबरदस्त बैटल. अब उस्मान भाई का क्या है, उस्मान भाई करने वाले कुछ ये सीरीज में. उस्मान ख्वाजा, we saw him struggling against India. We know he's been, like you said, a revolution with his career and
Yeah.
how he picked it up from 2014. But yeah, Usman Khwaja looked very shaky with that movement.
Yeah, last couple of years he's been outstanding. But of course, if you look at the last game, he didn't have the best games. But again, experience. Him and Warner, they've been batting together since school days. If you see उनका picture भी है, उन लोग जब like under 15 एक school में खेल रहे थे साथ में. They have an understanding together. They won't be phased by the occasion. Yes, like if there is movement on offer, both Warner and Khwaja will struggle, especially against
Yeah.
Broad and Anderson. They have a very difficult job to do. But I'm banking on their experience, and I'm looking at it this. If I'm them, I just need to outscore my top two, England's top two, which is Duckett
Yeah.
and Crawley, and I
Which
think
isn't
they
the hard
have.
thing. Which isn't that hard.
It's not that hard. Think of it like that. I'm saying if I'm them, I'm thinking we just need to outscore those guys, right? Of course, the dream would be you want to score 100, you want to score 50s, you want to get them off to flyers. But if I'm to take the pressure off me, I'm saying कि भाई इन लोग जो भी मार रहे Duckett और Crawley उससे 5 run ज्यादा मारना है. And Duckett and Crawley, if you look at it, yes, Duckett was really good in Pakistan, he was outstanding, but their opening partnerships haven't been that big. So if you compare it, then I'm not too worried about Khwaja and Warner's form. It all comes to the middle order battle between both the teams. So it's about just getting, if you can get to 50 for no loss or 40 for no loss, that's good enough in the beginning. But yes, ideally, the stature, these two, like the experience that they have, the quality that they possess, you expect them to score some big runs. And it might not be the case, but let's see. Right now, yeah, they're not in the greatest of forms. But I'll tell you something, even Warner, if you see his innings against India, no, you won't remember it, but I was there and I remember that was a key innings for Australia.
43.
It allowed Travis Head to play the way he played. It allowed
It
Smith
allowed
to
a
play.
lot of people settle down.
Yeah,
They, know,
it
like
was a
Labuschagne and
difficult phase.
Champatik. Yeah.
India were bowling well at that time. It was a difficult phase, but he allowed with that innings he allowed the rest of the batsmen. So I think they have that aspect to them as well, that they can guts it out when required. It will be a challenge for them. He averaged like 8 in the last Ashes, bro. Warner, I think it was around 8, and Broad was getting him out every single innings. So he will have that. There will be a shadow casted. Like he won't be as confident, but that experience, the skill, the determination, potentially his last Ash. I think it'll be his last
Yeah,
Ashes
I think
series. Him and Khwaja both probably. So with that being said, it's a 50-50 call. It could go either way. But I'm just looking at it, get to a start, get to 40-50, and then it's fine if you get out like initially. Middle order.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of looking at it. I mean, if it's flat, then I would say there will be a lot of shout outs on them. Like they need to get a very good opening partnership, but it won't be that
But
flat.
plus,
Also,
remember,
like you can't
yeah,
expect an
exactly.
Indian flat wicket, right?
Even when it is flat, remember that Duke's ball generally does swing.
Yeah.
Right, and like conditions generally in England do favor swing ball, especially the new ball will move a bit. It won't be like आप उधर खेल रहे Eden Gardens में या like वैसा तो नहीं रहने वाला. They will be
Ahmedabad.
swing on offer. Ahmedabad or Karachi. It's not going to be like that, right?
Hey,
So
Karachi
you will
is like king. Karachi
and
में
that
तो-
is where these guys will suffer. The opening batsmen will suffer कि भाई जब ball move हो रहा थोड़ा बहुत, and यहीं पे फंस सकते हैं ख्वाजा, वार्नर, डकेट, क्रॉली. तो चैलेंज आपका यही है कि न्यू बॉल निकालो आप, पर जितने भी आप रन बना सकते हैं.
I think वही है. I think शुरू में just soak in ball आम खेलो ओल्ड करो फिर ओल्ड हुए बाद शुरू करो शॉट.
And one thing is, and you notice with the Duke ball, कभी न्यू बॉल भी आप निकाल लेते हैं, ठीक है, 10 ओवर, फिर उसके बाद और ज्यादा स्विंग होता है 15-16 ओवर में ड्यूक्स में. लाइक इन इंग्लैंड एकदम it starts the ball starts talking after 16
हरकत तो
17
होती
overs.
है, हरकत तो होती रहती कुछ तो भी. Like you're always thinking. But one thing I wanted to say, like like Steve Smith का first innings, yes, it was very shaky, but the second innings, the way he started, I really liked it. Like India were on top, but उन्हें आके जो 2 बाउंड्रियां मार के मुंह चुप करा दिया पूरों का, and he went in this counter attacking mode where he made the bowlers think कि भाई देखो इतना बच्चे अपन नहीं है. And like he started hitting boundaries, he started doing random stuff, and in the first innings if you see him, he was so calm, composed, like it didn't look pretty. बट फिर उन्हें आके जो काउंटरिंग करना शुरू करा फिर इंडियन बॉलर्स को लाइक दे हैड टू टेक कवर राइट इट वाज दैट वे सो आई थिंक like Steve Smith man he's also going to be very crucial along with Travis Head obviously but I think these kind of changes, these kind of experiences are going to be very crucial for both the sides tomorrow. But I think we should go into captain's corner now to understand. I want to see what you think. Who will do what? Kya planning rengi? So we'll quickly move into that captain's corner. So, Kal, Ben Stokes, Pat Cummins, both gonna be there for the toss. Toss decide करे क्या करना Mustafa? Do you think batting, bowling, or do you wait for overhead, cast, or whatever, or sunny conditions? What would you do?
I have this gut feeling Australia will bat first, England will bowl first. So I think the toss might just not matter. That's just because if you see under Ben Stokes, they love a chase. Pancho bhi chase karna hai, hum log kar lete. He loves chasing. Whereas Australia, I think Pat Cummins wanted to bowl in the WTC, but he's probably learned very quickly that it's good that we batted and guts it out the first hour, and then we can put pressure. With the sun out and everything, that could help Nathan Lyon come into the game in the fifth day or fourth day, whatever it is in the last innings. So I think that's how they're going to go with it. Me personally, I always like to bat first, man. Whatever the conditions are, I just like putting pressure on the opposition, and I feel that if there is any deterioration on offer, you can make use of it. But as we've seen in England, the way England played last year, day 5 was really good to bat on. So,
Yeah.
but WTC mein jo dekha, I felt it was difficult. 4 and 5 is still decent. It wasn't that hard. So I think it just depends on the team. And England, I feel, will bowl first, and Australia will bat first.
I think the most important thing would be line and length. Like towards the fourth and fifth, it's your line and length and how accurate you can be. I think if you go short, again, you'll leak runs, is what we saw. But then, like in the fifth day, Scott Boland bowled three good deliveries and three perfect lines, and you saw like Virat Kohli go, Jadeja go, and like then line just took over. So
Yeah.
it's all about the accurate spots that you hit. I think on the fourth and fifth day. But first 3 days तो तुम कहीं भी डाल दो यार, कहीं से कुछ तो भी movement हो जाएगा, तो वो जरा परेशानी है.
मैं अगर बेन स्टोक्स भी अगर मैं हूं, मैं ये भी सोचूंगा कि मैं बैटिंग पहले 600 अगर मार दिया, उन लोगों पे प्रेशर आ जा सकता है, वो भी कर सकते हैं, राइट? वैसा भी
Yeah.
आई शुड कीप दैट ऑप्शन अवेलेबल, बट जस्ट द वे दे प्लेड द क्रिकेट इन द लास्ट ईयर और सो, आई फील दैट ही से कि भाई गिव मी द बॉल, वुड लाइक टू बॉल फर्स्ट बोल के. That's what I feel. And bro, it's going to be, that toss is going to be wild, man. They're going to pura suited and booted. It's going to be Edgbaston. The Holly stand is going to be very loud, and it's going to be a packed atmosphere. Everyone's going to be watching that game. And the first Ashes, I remember the Ponting and Michael Vaughan coming out in 2005, and I think we're going to get a similar type of feeling this time
And
around.
power.
And yeah, and the reason why I'm like hyping this as much, I'm getting those 2005 vibes because of the level of competition. In 2005 also there was hype. You still felt Australia were favorites in that series, but because England came off a very good year of cricket, they won in South Africa, they won in different conditions, they battled it out against other teams, big teams like India and everything, and they did well. Over here the same thing. Last year has been really good, transformed cricket. And yeah, that's why I feel that this time around it's going to be that level. And Ben Stokes also, one thing I just wanted to say, that as an all-rounder, it's not easy to captain, bro. Yeah, I mean, Imran Khan did it, Kapil Dev did it, but it's not very easy. Like, you have to bat both field and then you have to captain. But he's taken the role right now, and
That's why I respect Rohit Sharma, right? Opening batsman and then the captain. It's like big responsibility on his shoulders.
this is even tougher, I think, because you're bowling as well, you're fielding. Then, did you notice that today in the press conference, even there's a picture I think I sent you. He had a huge thing on his knee, a huge cast on it, like a band or whatever.
Brace,
Um,
brace.
he
Yeah.
has all these things going on in his head, but I think the whole team, the whole country, all the fans, they believe in this guy, right? Like, and they like whatever he's going to do.
2019. Yeah, man.
They believe in this guy, they believe in his captaincy, and they enjoy his cricket. He's going to look to entertain, but this is where England can lose, because
Yeah.
Australia don't give a crap about entertaining. They want to win, right?
Yeah.
If you see the way Ben Stokes says that if you take care of the process, the result will come itself. And so Pat Cummins is not going to say that. He's going to say, but we want to win. We're going to look at the best option to win. If that means blocking, 50 deliveries of Jimmy Anderson, we'll do it. So that is where maybe England have the thing. But on the other hand, if England put all that pressure on Australia, then Australia can also succumb to it. Like they can,
Yeah,
and we've
yeah.
seen Australia in the past against India itself कि जब pressure डालते हैं उन लोग भी थोड़ा सा परेशान हो जाते हैं. They do panic.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like 2005 वाइब definitely इसलिए है क्योंकि top two nation test cricketing nations तो दिख के आ रहे हैं ना दोनों. The year that they have, England beat Pakistan, they beat New Zealand, and then they won against Ireland, and then Australia beat Pakistan, they beat South Africa, they beat West Indies, they beat one test India, and then they won the WTC, right? So I think with all that star power, all that head-to-head battles, all that aggression, and we know they 4-0 हजम नहीं करा होगा Ben Stokes, जो हारे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर, and वो एक battle here in itself. So there's so much at stake for both of them, and pride, and then English condition, and then the crowd that you witnessed. You know how it is. They take the cricket very seriously, and then etiquette. So all of these things together, it's making it like more
Well,
like a Survivor Series kind of feeling.
but Birmingham, Leeds, I can guarantee you, pagal hone wala hai. They're going to have those
Yeah,
beer snakes and everything going around the
yeah,
stadium.
yeah, yeah.
They're going to go wild. It's going to be a bit more
आज
rowdy
ही देख
in
रहा
these
था मैं वो
places.
आज ही देख रहा था like holding the thing, and like they were
Yeah.
going and people dressed up weirdly, and yeah.
Yeah, I like that's going to be the thing. In Lords, it'll be a bit more proper. It'll be suited and booted and thali marna padta. And like even from the people that I talked to over there, they said that if you want atmosphere, you go to Birmingham, you go to Leeds and everything. Even Oval is good, like it's more thing. But Lords is like proper. You can't take horns and can't take drums, dol baja and all that. You can't do that. Yeah, it's a bit more proper. But the atmosphere will still be good in Lords. It'll be great. But
Yeah.
here it'll be rowdy. It'll be crazy. Birmingham and Leeds, especially, it's going to be.
Leeds, yeah, because पूरे अपने वाले ही थे वहाँ.
इधर भी बर्मिंगम में भी like
बर्मिंघम एंड लीड्स दोनों में है काफी काफी देसी
the home
आइच
of
है.
the Peaky Blinders, so it's going to be crazy, and you'll see some. I have a feeling in this Ashes you'll see some big football players or ex-football players coming and watching as well. I think that's going to be the hype because, like I said, there's not that many global tournaments. There's no football going on. There's no international tournament or Euros or anything like that. Maybe there's a Women's World Cup. I think football, but apart from that, I don't think there's anything this summer. And especially this is early part of the summer, so everybody's going to be focused on this. अभी कुछ है नहीं. Transfer market भी थोड़ा ठंडा ही पड़ा हुआ है, right? So everyone's
अभी तो खाली स्पेकुलेशन चल रहे हैं.
Four test matches in Old Trafford, you might see Gary Neville there. Birmingham, you might see someone there. You'll see some big stars, and I think that's how they're going to hype it as well.
You think we'll see Mark Ramprakash?
Mark Ramprakash. Yeah,
Mark
definitely.
Pitcher.
Why not? Owen Morgan is already there. He's in Birmingham there. And listen, shout out to that guy. उसके वजह से ये baseball ये वो they've taken it to the next level. But he's the one who started this transformation in English cricket. Although it was the white ball, but basically gutsing it out. And remember, Ben Stokes was a key member of Owen Morgan's thing, and I'm sure Ben Stokes learned a lot from Morgan as captain, right? So you have to give him a shout out there. But yeah, but like I said, I think the difference is Ben Stokes will be looking to gamble. He wants to win. They both want to win, but Ben Stokes doesn't mind risking a loss, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Australia, we're looking to win, and then second alternative will be a draw. They're not going to, like, if they're batting 300 for 2, they're not going to declare on if they're leading 2-1 on day 5. But
yeah, they're not going to do any. It's like you see that decision that they made even for the follow on kate for the target that they set in it. They came and batted the end, and Cummins waited till he ended batting, and then he's like 470, assessed everything. Whereas Ben Stokes 350 होते कि चलो बोलता था. Doro team was let's go to the house बोल के बोलता था. So मेरे हिसाब से Ben Stokes is one on the cut, but again, like the odds, if you look at it traditionally, Pat Cummins is more like chalo. It's better to do those kind of things than a risky guy. So it's always like a new process, a new theory is always not respected in the beginning, but towards the end of it when it's successful. And in this case, you've seen him in the T20, the World Cup, and probably what he's trying to eye is the Mace and the Ashes. So yeah, then people won't say Ben Stokes ka. But again, you have to be like a captain like that, right? You have to have that kind of a will and gut to do that, and bol ke karna. That's also one thing. You have to lead by example. You have to lead by example. If you don't lead and you're getting out every time, it's not then the momentum in the team won't be met. But when you're winning the test, single-handedly, staying there till the whole day, World Cup staying there till the whole day, T20 World Cup staying there till the whole day. Not that he's captain in the other two formats, but that's what kind of a player this guy is, right? So
Yeah,
I think,
and
yeah,
like you said, it takes extreme guts because you can look like a clown. Because
yeah,
you can backfire. We saw that against South Africa in that first Test match. They got all out, and the match finished in 3 days because they played reckless shots. But
mm,
he doesn't mind looking like that. He's like, I will. At the end of the day, I want to entertain the crowd, and it's actually benefiting the team because they're smashing games. It's not. It's also a really good way to win games as well. But it's
yeah.
high risk. That's the important thing. It is high risk, but yeah, I think he's insane, bro.
Yeah, if he manages to do this, then I'm pretty sure India will start looking at this approach. Rishabh Pant definitely will be trying to either come back, and it's good to see him recover. I mean, he started walking stairs, was what he was climbing today. So that's one thing. Asia Cup का भी finally कुछ announcement आया है, right? Like we saw groups and ODIs in Pakistan and 9 ODIs in Sri Lanka, is it? And Group A is
Nine
what?
games in Sri Lanka.
Group A and B, I forgot what it was. Nepal, India, and what, Afghanistan, I think, or something like that. I'm not sure, but at least it's moving in some direction. But the final is on September 17th or 16th, and then एक महीने के बाद by World Cup है. तो अब यहाँ पे
Colombo, baby.
फटीक मारेगा, क्या होगा नहीं पता. लाइक कितना ब्रेक लेंगी इंडिया, कौन जाएगा कौन नहीं जाएगा. वेस्ट इंडीज का भी टूर है, फिर बैक टू बैक क्रिकेट हो जाएगा क्या बॉयज के लिए. वो सवालात के लिए तो विल हैव टू वेट फॉर द टीम. प्रॉब्ली exactly एक month में शुरू है tour, but we'll come to know. But what are your predictions, particularly for this Ashes and completely
I'll tell you that.
tomorrow?
No, I'll tell you that in the end. Let's do fantasy picks and then I'll tell you.
Okay, so let's just go into the fantasy picks mode so that we can pick
Yes.
the best. So, two players, one
Yeah.
batsman, one bowler. So I'll go
Fair enough.
first. I'm gonna go with bowler. I'm gonna go with Pat Cummins. I think he'll be good to bowl. And for batsman, I'm gonna go with who's coming in my head? Travis Head. Travis Head.
You pick it. So we pick one batsman, one bowler, both teams.
Yeah, both teams.
Both teams. You said Pat Cummins, right? That's a very good
Pat
shout.
Cummins.
I think I'll go Nathan Lyon. This is for
Fourth
this
should be.
game or the whole series?
Yeah.
This game, right?
This game, I'm talking the first question that I asked you about this Ashil or the whole series. This is
Okay,
just for you.
Nathan Lyon, and from England, I'll go Harry Brook.
What about batsman for Australia?
We have to do both.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
okay.
bowler, one. Yeah,
Acha, Nathan Lyon, and from Australia, batting wise, I will go Labuschagne.
Labuschagne. I'm going Travis Head and Pat Cummins. I don't know. Still, I want Alex Carey to go, but he's not a long.
It'll be Steve Smith, bro, I think, but I'm
Yeah.
just going a bit different. It'll be Steve
1100s,
Smith.
man. 1100s, 1150s.
He's
59 average.
he's averaging what, like 60 almost over there, and he had the best. He scored 700 runs in the last Ashes series.
Yeah.
So I think Steve Smith, you have to pick him in your team, but I'm just going
Yeah, but-
Labuschagne.
And then England, I'll leave it to you. Harry Brook and
Harry Brook and Ollie Robinson. I think
Ollie
Robinson probably also will probably play more games, but whenever he does play, he has that wicket taking ability. आप देखो like English conditions में, Pakistan conditions में कहीं भी उन्हें he attacks the stumps. He gets some seam movement as well. He's good with the new and old ball. He can bowl longer spells. So I think Robinson is my guy. In terms of fantasy, I think he can pick up wickets. So I'm gonna go with him.
I'm just going to go with one of my favorite, Jimmy Anderson, and I'm going to go with batting. Mein, it's a little bit hard to actually decide कौन है because अच्छे खासे, but like उतना dependable. Yes, Smith a root है, but I don't want to go with root. I'll go with probably. Let's go with Ollie Pope just to give him a backing. I think Ollie Pope shall be probably he's going to be keen on displaying also, right? So I think वो हिसाब से जाऊंगा मैं.
Yeah, that is very differential, but हो सकता है अब उन्हें number 3 भी है. अगर उन्हें runs मारना शुरू करा, he has the ability to score big hundreds as well. Not many people will pick him, but that's a good differential pick.
I mean, yeah, just because like he'll obviously be keen, like I said, to prove, and when you want to prove and stuff, थोड़ा अच्छा खेलने जाते भी आप. You don't just throw your wicket away. You put a price on it, right? And you could even say the same thing for Harry Brook, obviously, but we know he's tested and proven, and proven and tested rather than tested and proven. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. But मेरे हिसाब से I think Ollie Pope जिस तरीके से खेला हुआ है, a big innings is coming from him very soon probably.
Ollie Pope, yeah,
Yes, sir.
100%, bro.
Now the series, Ashes, 5 tests. You know, what are your predictions for that?
I'll go 3-2 Australia.
All right,
I,
I'm gonna
I
go. Hmm. Go for it.
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
don't know. A lot of people are saying 3-2. I generally feel it could be 2-1 also. It'll be close, but I'm gonna go Australia. I'll give you my reasons also after, but yeah, 3-2 Australia.
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the two. No, not two. Probably yeah, 3-1 England. I feel England is going to smash Australia. I don't know why. I just feel because baseball is really like probably blinding my actual, cricketing head, which I think of the most safest option. But this Ben Stokes and his temperament, that mob mentality, I think that's really like changing my perspective.
Yeah, I think the reason why I'm going three Australia wise, I think batting is evenly matched. Styles are different. England, if they smash it, then it becomes difficult for the opposition. But Australia do have batting as well. They do have players who can accelerate.
Hmm.
And then I just feel Australia's bowling lineup is better. If you think bowler for bowler, they have a better spinner. I think their opening bowlers, you can say maybe evenly matched. But if you add it as a trio, probably more
Yeah,
fitter and more
yeah,
accurate, a bit more accurate. It gives them a bit of an edge. But where the biggest edge is the spinner wise, and I think the spinner will play a huge role in the last 2-3 games for sure, and even maybe in the first couple of games in the last couple of days, and that might be the difference. Nathan Lyon can get hit as well. Don't get me wrong, like usko maar bhi pad sakta, but I just feel that with the weather around, summer, dry surfaces,
boundaries are big. Yeah.
eventually he's going to come into play, bro. Somewhere or the other, in 1 or 2 games, he's going to come into play. And if you have a quality spinner like that, it just gives you an edge in winning matches, especially if you're batting first and bowling on the last day. I think it gives you the edge, and that's why I'm going Australia wise. I'm kind of neutral. I don't mind whoever wins this, but I want
Yeah.
it to go like till down the wire. Normally, I would support England over Australia, but right now because they're evenly matched, it doesn't really matter, man. It can go either way. And
Yeah, they're not particular underdogs per se, but like there's just like yeah, they won the
yeah,
championship.
normally England is underdogs, right?
Departmentally, like you can say, yeah, maybe there are like little differences, like mild differences, like opening experience है Australia को, but then like underperforming भी है.
अब
But
यही है
in
लाइक अब ये भी हो सकता है कि इंग्लैंड की मिडिल ऑर्डर दे स्मैश इट एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया डजंट बट आई स्टिल back that Australian batting order. If I just look at the
yeah,
overall team 1 to
yeah,
11,
yeah,
I back that team. Both will bat and ball a bit more. So that's why I'm going 3-2 in
बिल्कुल.
for Australia. But like you said, England, if they go crazy and they execute this aggressive cricket against this Australian team, you can put them under pressure and they can also succumb under pressure. We've seen Mitchell
Yeah,
Stark, Pat Cummins, Nathan Lyon get smashed on day 5 at the Gabba. We've seen them
yeah,
not get wickets against Ashwin and Vihari.
Ashwin,
Remember,
yeah,
was it the in it was
yeah,
in
yeah.
Sydney, I
Per,
think, right?
yeah, I think
Yeah, Sydney
yeah,
third test match or something. So like we've seen them struggle as well. We've seen them drop catches in crucial situations, make mistakes, panic. So and England have the ability to create that panic because not only are they playing at home, they have the crowd which can create the pressure, but they also have the type of game which if you're playing a fast-paced game, it causes confusion, doubt in the opposition. It causes doubt for the captain as well. His thinking can get skewed because एकदम से रन रेट 8-9 हो गया क्या करेंगे उन्हें परेशान हो जाता है पैट कमिंस so I think
yeah,
they have that ability there and that's why I think it's going to be a very close series but overall I'm just looking at it as a marathon. I'm tipping Australia but Australia are also one injury away, a couple of injuries
yeah,
away
yeah.
of some problems as well.
That's true. And like the way I'm looking at it, whatever Ben Stokes wants, he goes after it, right? And we've seen him get it. Like the World Cup, the T20 World Cup, and he wants this Ashes like that's the only way I'm gonna think like that's the way I'm thinking that England will win convincingly is because this guy is very stubborn here and he
And
delivers when and he
yeah,
puts a price he didn't put a price on but he puts a price on his इज्जत वो respect रहना
yeah.
उसको तो I think वो बहुत बड़ी चीज उन्हें दाव पे लगा दे रहा है and with baseball I think he's always been the one who proven right like he's hit in every occasion like test में Headingley देख लो या T20 World Cup के final में देख लो या World Cup के final में देख लो so this guy knows how to win matches he knows how to get what he wants he'll get the best out of his players leads by example so I'm just feeling completely it's going to be England series
Yeah,
for winning.
and Faz, I think this is Australia's best team since 2005 to come to England,
Yeah,
and that's a
easily because
that's a big
बीच में
shout.
तो
I know.
बीच में तो 3 साल बैगन में मिल गया था ना
Yeah, 2005 Ponting ki team thi, that was better. That was amazing. But
Hmm.
after that, I think this is the most competitive side over there. And if you're
Yeah,
relatively comparing it to England, Uh,
Yeah,
I think they are a better. They're a really good side. Batting, bowling, sorted. Experience wise, they're sorted as well. They have some youngsters as well. Labuschagne is also a few years older, more experienced now than he was when
yeah,
he first debuted at the Ashes. So I think overall, it's a very solid side. So whoever wins this, it'll define a era for sure. Like, there'll be
100%.
it
Yeah.
won't be probably the best team in the world or anything like that, but they will be like defined like this
But it'll
for either
definitely be
team.
one of the best Ashes that you'll see, is what we feel personally here. But like I and Mustafa, like what we've been seeing through the years, team wise, like Mustafa just explained, Kara, I think now I can like clearly see it. Ke, bhai, yeah, the way the build up is, each one had a very good year, a lot of injuries, a lot of changes, but the perfect, like everybody's at their peak right now, and everybody's in tip top condition until now, right?
Yeah,
And like,
one thing I forgot to mention: Australia haven't had this even in 2005, and now they have it.
uh,
Unless you,
all rounder.
yeah, Cameron Green, fast
Yeah,
bowling
all
all rounder.
rounder.
Unless you
We
count
forgot it.
Shane Watson, but like, yeah,
At that
like
time, he wasn't complete, I think, right? Like he
yeah,
was
so
2005, 2008 is
so
when he
they
actually
have like a
started.
proper all rounder at number seven, like that fast bowling all rounder. England had Ian Botham, then they had
Yeah.
Flintoff, then they had Ben Stokes. But Australia coming to England didn't really have that fast bowling all rounder, and now they have that, and that could be the difference in this series as well. Cameron Green has a very good record against Joe Root as well, which you saw in
Yeah, yeah,
Australia,
yeah, yeah.
and in general he'll get that extra bounce. He could be the deciding factor.
And
Um,
his fielding is next level, man.
his
That guy.
fielding is unbelievable. We saw that firsthand in England against India, and also with Ben Stokes' injury and everything, we don't know how many overs he'll bowl. Right, he might bowl in the first match. He'll bowl quite a few overs, maybe, but then after that, we'll be able to sustain that for long periods of time in every Test match. But Cameron Green, I
Mm.
think, has that ability, and he's younger, he's fitter. So I think that's a really he's going to be a key factor in this game, in this
Yeah,
series, Mr. Cameron Green.
yeah, 100%. I think that's a very good point. And yeah, tomorrow 3:30 India time is when the match starts. Birmingham, Edgbaston.
Birmingham.
Just suit boot में रह के समझता बोला it's gonna be all tip top, and then after the first ball डालने से पहले सब gangster mentality निकलने वाली है, सब गालियां गलोचा. You see a lot of eyeballing, you see Siraj kind of ball throwing, you see a lot of things happening. So make sure you guys
Hello.
watch it, and everybody who's like saying कि हमला नहीं देखने वाले WTC के बाद, like screw it, man, just watch
You have to
cricket,
watch it, man.
enjoy it. It's one of the best series ever that comes like 2 years में एक बार आता है ये. It's fantastic atmosphere, and Mustafa has had it firsthand. He's seen the atmosphere and seen the galdom and everything that goes with it. But yeah, I'm getting more excited as I'm speaking about the test and everything that we're watching, and content that we're soaking in and delivering. Hopefully, you guys are watching the shorts and reels. And liking, subscribing, and sharing. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow post the match. Hopefully, the day one, which will probably end what at 10 o'clock, like same like India,
Yeah.
10:30
It'll be just
India
half
time.
an hour later because the
Yeah,
WTC started half an hour earlier, 10:30
yeah.
UK time. This is going to start 11 UK time, so it'll just be half an hour later.
Yeah, so yeah, see you guys then, and then yeah, keep liking, subscribing, chasing, watching, chasing the target. Thank you, everyone. Good night.